Hello, I'm Paula at the Princess Grace Irish Library, and I'm delighted to welcome Marianne McShane today, who is talking to us from Ireland. And Marianne is the author of her new book, Fog Catcher's Daughter, and that is going to be published on July 7th, very shortly. So we're delighted to have you, Marianne, just a few days before your exciting launch. That's wonderful.
Well, I'm so happy to be here, Paula and Geraldine, and thank you for having me back to the Princess Grace Irish Library. Yes, it's in a very exciting time. There's only 1 week to the publication of the new story, and so I can't wait for it to come out. But I'm really delighted that I'm able to show you in Monaco and your young readers a little bit of a preview and tell you a little bit about the book.
Great, wonderful. Well, you fire ahead. We're excited to hear.
Well, the story takes place on Midsummer, and that's a sort of a magic day in Ireland, because in Ireland, we still have a belief in the fairy folk, and they might come out on May Day and at Halloween, but also on Midsummer. So as long as you don't upset the fairies, they won't do you any harm. But if you trespass on their ground or cut down a fairy tree, then you could be in trouble. So Eily doesn't really like this day because her papa is the fog catcher. And his job is to go out to the magic island, the fairy island of Seanchaí, on Midsummer Day and collect the fairy fog because there's magic in it, and he brings it back in jars. And the people in the village use it during the year to help grow their herbs and to keep them healthy. But Eily knows that as long as he has his charm with him, he'll be safe. So she thinks he'll be okay. So would you like me to read you a little bit from the story?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Well, I've started the part where they're just going out that morning to do what they always do because they have animals to take care of. So Eily goes out to help them. Eily and Papa set out that morning. Her little hand slipped in his to milk Molly, the brindled cow. Eily tossed the first few drops of milk into the air for the fairies, as she always did. But this morning, she didn't sing her milking song to Molly. She called no greeting to the sheep. A shiver ran through her when she glanced out at the island. There was no fog yet, but the fairy wind was on the rise. Papa, she said, back in the cottage, as she mixed flour and buttermilk into soft cakes of wheaten bread. There's a whole jar of fairy water left. Could we not make it last? Papa shook his head. It'll barely last the winter, love, and we need Annie's cures and charms to keep away sickness and ill luck. Eily bit her lip. She feared for her father, rowing on those wild seas and getting caught in fairy spells on the island. But she knew that the fog catcher wouldn't set foot on Seanchaí without one of Annie's charms in his pocket. She dropped the wheaten cakes one by one onto the hissing griddle. Well, at least she would make him good bread for the crossing. And perhaps she could find him a journey treasure. After breakfast, Eily raced through the village to Annie's shop, and she stepped into a fragrance of perfumes and potions. Annie was spooning ointments into jars. What has you here so early, child? She asked. To find a treasure for Papa. Take what pleases you best. So wise Annie has a little bit of magic of her own, and she has wonderful things in her shop, and I'm going to show you now. This is one of my favorite pages in the whole story, and maybe you can see it.
Oh, that's fabulous.
And I always wonder if I was going to that little shop, Annie's apothecary, what would I pick? Because there are so many wonderful things to choose. And Eily looks all around, and Papa already has his charm. So she gets him a little stone that reminds her of the cow. And she thinks that'll be a special keepsake for him to take on the boat. Now, what happens in the story is that after Papa leaves, Eily's walking home and she finds something dangling in the hedge. And she realizes it's Papa's charm that the fairy wind had taken, blown it away so he's not protected. And what she has to do then is find the courage to go out and save him. Now, the illustrator Alan Marks has done a beautiful illustration of what a fairy charm might be, or a charm really for protection against the fairies. So I made one of my own, and I was thinking of all the different kinds of things, tiny little things that have holes in them that maybe you could thread onto wire or some yarn and make your own charm to hang, or maybe a bracelet to wear. So I started looking around for old bracelets. And I went to some old thrift shops, charity shops, we call them here, and got old bracelets, and I cut the beads off. And you can also buy, beads if you're into crafts. And then I thought about buttons, because look, buttons have lots of holes, and I got this great little jar of buttons of all different colors and sizes. And I read somewhere that red ribbon is a charm for protection. So you could actually get some red ribbon and just tie it anywhere you want. Or you could make the ribbon you used to hang it red instead of blue. And seashells. Sometimes you might find a seashell with a little hole in it. Or if you had some craft wire, you can wind it around and tie it up like a little parcel almost and hang it onto your charm. So what I think you could all do before I see you again is spend this summer keeping an eye open for anything that might work to go in your own little special charm. And then when I see you after the holidays are over, you can show me what you made.
That's a great idea. Thanks so much for that wonderful preview and the few pages you read, Marianne. We're delighted. And Geraldine has special news for the young readers.
Yes, because we plan a reading of The Forecatcher's Daughter after the summer school holidays. And the young readers really enjoyed last reading of your book, Marianne, a few months ago. So thank you so much. And really, the last reading was fantastic. And now we are ready, we are. It's our own little charm, Marianne. So thank you so much. Thank you.
That's wonderful. And I'll put in our website details of when your book is out. I'll remind everyone that's July 7th by Candlewick Press. And that will be something that maybe the children can buy during the summer as well.
Wouldn't that be great if you all knew the story?
Sounds great. Well, we look forward to that. Thanks again, Marianne, and have a wonderful summer.
Thank you. And you too. And I'll see you after the holidays.
Yes. See you in Monaco.
Okay,
reading in Monaco. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.